Yeah, so focusing on small blind versus button, play at 40 bigs, and that's because this is again one of the spots where the GTO solvers have changed play kind of dramatically. I think small blind flatting ranges have expanded pretty dramatically from where they were pre-solver. And so when I'm going through hand history reviews with people, like this is just a spot where lots of my students either don't flat wide enough or flat and then screw up post flop. And so I thought that this would be a good spot to take a look at, pretty much for those exact reasons. I am just trying to stay on top of the mics, make sure that they're muted. If I end up missing something, let me make sure you let me know. So this is the aggregation report. It's about 55 flops. And this is just the root. So this is the small blind strategy by default. And so you can see that there are definitely flops where we check range, and the primary strategy is to check. So we end up with a 90% check. So for the most part, when you flat small blind versus button, you should be checking. Okay, but there is quite a bit of density around 10 high flop aggression from the small blind. So if you look, it's like this subset of flops, right? So these are the ones where we end up with some kind of leading component to our strategy. Okay, so this is the lowest frequency checks, which is still, it still gets up to 80% on 10-9-4. But these are this small subset of flops are still the ones that we do have the lowest frequency check on, and they mostly interact with the 10. So you have 10-10, 10-10-3, 10-4-3, 10-8x, 10-9x, 10-7x. This is monotone. This is 8-8x. That's fair enough. King 10-10, 10-7-3, 10-9-4. And so I would be paying personally, I'd be paying a lot less attention to the anomaly, the kind of anomalies. So I'd be paying a lot less attention to 8-8 deuce and paying a lot less attention to even the monotone flop. And I would be paying more attention to, the fact that there's a lot of leading that takes place, or just in general, a lot more aggression on the 10 high boards, and trying to appreciate that my range has some density there. And so even if I'm in game, I make this check and I miss some of the leading, or I opt for a pure checking strategy just for simplicity or whatever, I think it's important to be aware of the fact that it's probably going to be a reasonable thing to take a look at, ramping up aggression on these boards that incorporate a 10. Is there anything worth considering in 10-7-3 versus 10-4-3? It's a pretty dramatic difference. No, not really. I mean, not I'm sure there is, but nothing that jumps out at me as far as screaming this is why. It could have to do with the 3-bet strategy. So if we look here at the small blind flat, you can see that 4s and 3s are very high frequency flats. 7s, 8s, and 9s are really not. So it could be set coverage. You can see the same thing is true down here.